of the perception, it's really an important thing for us to identify happiness in ourselves and others, and be sure you compliment people on it.
Yeah.
We become an agent of spreading the word. But you're right, and life is about joy. And this brings up for me the American Declaration of Independence. The one thing that America needs to do, and that everyone needs to do, is discover what dream is their nation.
Yeah.
Without a defined dream, a nation falters. The American dream didn't come from Europe. It came from the native people here. And it was, curiously, it's on the dollar bill, but they have it backwards. And I'll even put it in Latin, make it sound European. The true American dream is this: Annuit ceptis, renovatio ordinis saeculorum, e pluribus unum, ut in Deo et in nobis semper confitemur. Translation? Annuit means to nod with approval, but I prefer to say, for the divinity has breathed with approval upon the things we have begun, a renewal of the ancient order of affairs, that out of many should be one, in order that in the divinity and each other we may forever trust. That's a nation. It's trust that makes a nation. And when people are happy, they trust each other. That's one of the reasons for being happy. And without that trust, the nation is only a theory. So I propose, that is the golden age. That's the way the nations of the Americans who were here before the white men, that was their dream. They trusted each other. They loved each other. They were empowered. They lived in joy. They celebrated life every day. And when we came here, unfortunately, we took it away from them. We had no respect for that. And yet, it got on our dollar bill, but all backwards. It got on there with Hitler's idea instead of the right one. It was new order of affairs, right? Here's the way it reads on the dollar bill. For the divinity has nodded approval upon the things we have begun. A new order of affairs, that out of many should be one, in order that in God alone we may trust. Well, that's not good enough. It's not a new order. It's a very ancient one. The order of the golden age. It's implicit in us. Let us begin to dream that dream that we should live in a world in which trust is normative. The other day, a Chinese man came from China to do business, and he said, you Americans have too much paperwork with all your stuff. How many papers, papers, papers. He said, in China, we still work on a handshake. And I said, well, now that's a pretty potent nation. If China's going to win, that's why they're going to win, because they trust each other. And we're going to lose because we don't. So it's a matter of national survival, and the greatest of all patriotic duties is to be happy and learn to trust the people around you and help them to trust you as well. So that's the sort of United Nations thing, isn't it?
By the way, the question of the tour around the sun, I've never even gotten to it, because living in Europe, in Alsace-Lorraine, which was challenged by Hitler, by all the thing, in the family you had only one talk. Who is the next minister coming into government? Or what are the Germans now going to invent again? And the year and the time was something which was so daily that we never came to the point of dreaming and of thinking how many times we went around the earth. You are the first one now who makes me thinking of that. And now that I'm older and married, and in a country like Costa Rica and in the United States, there it's much easier to think in terms of the place in the world. But you have places, I'm sure, but at the time of Hitler, that was completely, totally impossible. You have to think even what's going to happen next year, next week. What are they going to come up with? They were putting people in prison for no reason whatsoever. So I'm glad that you came up with another broadening of our vision, namely, let's look into this. And maybe if we have a good number of good years, we are getting up to heaven, no?
Yes, and the thing is, again, remember that your heart is moved by this gravity grace of the sun.
Oh, sure.
And you know, if that's really true.
You're right.
I had a lady one time who was afflicted by winter. And whenever winter came, she would just be so depressed. And so I said to her, Claire, why don't you go to Australia in the winter and have summer all the time and you'll be happy? She said, oh, that's a good idea. So off she went to Australia. And I said, did it work? She said, yeah. Didn't get my winter depression. And I said to her, well, good. Want to do it again this year? No, I don't think I'll stay here. And I said, don't do it, Claire, you'll be sorry. And darned if something strange didn't happen. I went to India that year, and I came back to New York and had to go up to Lake Placid. And I was up there visiting a boy that I'd raised who was in school there. And when I came back, I find that Claire had died in New York State while I was there from forgetting to leave the country in the winter. It killed her. And I thought, oh my Lord. Yes, we must have mercy on each other. Yes, winter is a hard time, not just physically, but spiritually. That's why Christmas is such a great day. It isn't Christmas, it's winter solstice. When the sun rises from the dead on the 25th of December, having been in the tomb for 3 days. Does that sound familiar? Now, this rising of the sun, that day is sacred because we all feel the change. The sun isn't diminishing anymore, it isn't dying, it's rising from the dead. Yes, we're getting set free here. It's the grace gravity of the stars. Come on, guys, this is big stuff. It is true. We are moving in the heavens.
Yeah.
We are citizens of an eternity. We are there in the midst of forces so great we cannot imagine them, and that they move us every day. And this cross that I wear here is a solar cross. And this cross is 550 years old.
Oh my.
And it comes from Mexico before Cortez. It's the Vera Cruz, the true cross that he saw upon posts all along the coast. And this is also a diagram of the ziggurat of Ur. It's 2 paths of the sun. The blue path by day and the red path by year. And where they cross is the violet flame. And this sun symbol is totally involved in all the original religions of the world, in which they saw the sun and the stars as the intermediaries of divine grace, and that the power of them to attract your heart and to let you down, and that power is the power that comes from the manifesting power of the universe through the stars to your heart. Call that the love of God, wouldn't you? But look at it, it's measurable, it's scientific.
That's very important.
Experiential.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not something you have to believe in, it's knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No doubt.
Yes. gives God a good reputation.